What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another UFC ranking video, and today we will be doing the 2024 edition of the top 10 best strikers in the UFC. So I did this about 10 months ago, give or take. Obviously a lot has changed in the MMA world, so I just thought I'd do it again. I think this is one of those videos where I want to do every single year along with top 10 grapplers, because in the UFC in a year, so much can change. I said at the end of my last video in September last year, I said, watch one of these guys get flatline KO'd, and I'm pretty sure about 3 of them did get flatline KO'd in this time. I think Justin Gaethje was on there. I'm trying to think of some other people that have been flatline KO'd on there, but there was a few. And yeah, so crazy things happen in the UFC. That's my point I'm trying to make here. So we're back with another video. I've added a few new people here. Some of you probably aren't going to like a few of the first ones, but that's okay. We'll work through them anyway. And I'm pretty sure the top is pretty set in stone at this point in time. But yeah, anyway, starting off with number 10. Here we go. It's Islam Makhachev. Now, I can't really put him any higher than this because he did make Dustin Poirier look like young Dustin Poirier, and he's 35 and he literally hasn't got a hip. So that's where I'm prepared to put him. But I will admit, this guy's legit. Like, his striking is like, he's basically could be a lightweight striker. He's good enough to do that. You know, if he had a boxing match against Max Holloway, would he lose? Yeah, I think he would. It would be close against Gaethje, you know what I mean? I think that's kind of the level he's at. He's about Gaethje level, maybe a tiny bit below in striking. And you've got to admit, it came on leaps and bounds. I remember when this guy was getting caught by Adriano Martins, the flyweight Alexandre Pantoja clone. And you know, this guy's come a long way in striking. He's looked so much better. His body kicks are really good. He can time people coming in. And yeah, he's better than Charles Oliveira. You know, he timed him. And he just looks pretty solid ever since defensively. He's looked better in pretty much every fight. Dustin Poirier, when he looked human, you know, everyone was like, this guy's unbeatable. But he showed flaws. You know, again, there is no such thing as a perfect fighter, and this fight proved it. Khabib certainly made Dustin Poirier look a lot easier, in my opinion. But yeah, so I think number 10's fair spot for him, considering what he's done. You know, improving, good boxer, good kicks, and just decent head movement. And he, like, you know, you never think like, oh my god, he's about to get starched like he used to do. So yeah, that's why I'm putting him at number 10. Moving on, we've got Steve Erceg. Now, I know Steve Erceg lost his last fight against Pantoja, but honestly, I think he probably could have won that fight. I think he did win it. I was picking him to win. And I do think this guy is the best flyweight in terms of striking. I think he pieces them all up. He was piecing up Pantoja as far as I'm concerned. Got a bit unlucky in terms of some scrambles and stuff like that. Maybe cost him. I mean, you know, the judges don't even know what they're looking for nowadays, so we're not going to get too caught up on that. But yeah, I think his boxing is just really good. He can piece together combos really well. He's quick. He's got good head movement. And yeah, this guy will basically outstrike every single UFC flyweight just because his boxing's that crisp, you know. I don't really have much else to say. You know, he is primarily a boxer, but he can deal with leg kicks. He can throw an occasional leg kick. You're not going to see this guy throw too many head kicks or anything like that. He likes what he likes. But yeah, as far as the flyweights go, he's the best flyweight in terms of striking, and I think he'll be champion in probably a year. Less than a year, maybe. He needs one more fight. He'll win that, I'm pretty sure. And then he'll probably beat Pantoja in the rematch because he's only going to take way more damage since then. And yeah, he's like 34, 35. So it'll be near the end of days for him. And yeah, I just like Erceg. He's a breath of fresh air in flyweight. It's nice to see someone that goes forward, tries to find finishes. I mean, so does Pantoja, but he's very sloppy. You know, the guy looks gassed after round 2, and he's probably not even gassed. He just has like a really sloppy kind of technique to him. I don't really know how to explain it, but that's how I'm trying. But yeah, Steve Erceg, number 9. I'm happy with that. Let's go on. Number 8, MVP. Now, this is going to annoy a lot of people, but I actually think MVP is quite a hard style matchup for a lot of strikers. And we're only looking at striking today because, yes, would this guy be beaten by anyone with a good grappling base in welterweight? Probably, yeah. But we're not looking at that. We're just looking at pure striking. And he's really tricky, okay? Because he's long. He doesn't go in range unless he's darting in for his, like, 3 things he throws in around. And that kind of fight really annoys people, and you can tell it was annoying Kevin Holland, which caused him to deploy the wrestling. Because when do we ever see Holland wrestle? You know what I mean? Because he usually hits you and he's like, oh, I might clip you next time and knock you out. And he usually does against the low-level opponents. And he was getting genuinely frustrated against MVP because the dude is hard to hit because he's just too far away from you. And then he darts in and he's got so much speed, he's back out and he's gone. And I really like that. It's entertaining, it's refreshing, and he's fun. He taunts people, he annoys them, he winds them up, as someone British would say. And I think he's refreshing, spinning elbow entries. Like, when was the last time we saw that when it wasn't up against the cage? Like, it's cool stuff like that makes him dynamic. It makes him difficult to read and work out. And people say, oh, leg kicks. He's so open, his stance is open. Holland tried and it didn't work. This guy isn't just a bad striker. I think he's better than people realize. And honestly, I think he probably will beat Ian Gary. I'm going to be honest. I think he's going to annoy Gary. And Gary's got really short arms too for a tall guy. He's got a really strange build, He's tall, but he's got short arms. He's got like a short man's arm span. But I think it's going to annoy him because I don't think he's going to be able to touch him. And I think the leg kicks aren't really going to be there. So, yeah, I'm picking him to beat Ian Gary. If he loses to Gary, maybe this was a mistake on the list. But, I'm betting that not actually betting, but I'm thinking he will beat Ian Gary. So, yeah, we'll have to see. And, dynamic, great, flashy, and quick. Like, really quick for someone who's 36, 37, So, yeah, obviously, is the best days of MVP behind us? Yeah. But, he's flashy. He's still fast. He's got really good head movement, I think. And obviously, I know he doesn't have technically, sound striking because, obviously, his hands are low. But it works, okay? And it's been working. So, we're not going to complain. Moving on. Number 7, Peter Yan. Now, Peter Yan is new to the list. I'm pretty sure I've never put him on it before. He had really bad performances against Aljo, we have to be honest, but he really showed why he is good against Song Yadong, and this guy does deserve to be on the list. He is the second best bantamweight striker, spoilers, but yeah, this guy's good. He can mix. Now, what I like about him is this guy, even though he's primarily a striker, he can mix it up. He's got trips, he's got throws. So if he misses a punch, if he overcommits on an overhand or something like that, he'll just turn it into something, He'll turn it into a double leg, he'll turn it into a trip, he'll turn it into a throw, turn it into a clinch entry, and that's what I like about him. Very good boxing, great shell, great guard. This guy's he basically deploys a boxing guard and it works, which is really impressive. His leg kicks are really strong and lethal. And yeah, he's just really fun to watch. He's good. And I think he beats every bantamweight except one of them in striking, pretty much. So yeah, I like him. And he's pretty lethal. This guy's got finishing potential. This guy will be knocking people out. He finishes people pretty often. And anyone who isn't top 5, they're probably guaranteed to be finished by Yan, unless it's Merab. But obviously he is top 5 now anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, Peter Yan, legit. He's not even that. He's still young, I'm pretty sure he's only 30. So yeah, well done. He's younger than Aljo anyway, so he doesn't have too much to worry about. I think he's 2-3 years younger than him. So this guy's still going to be good for a few years now. So hopefully he doesn't get knocked out in his next fight to make me look like an idiot, but you never know. Moving on. JDM. Now, JDM is the best boxer in the UFC, maybe, I think. Maybe. And when I say best boxer, there may be an individual or two, just looking at who I can see in front of me that you guys can't see yet, that maybe have better technique, but he's definitely the most lethal. And by that, I mean he has the most power, okay? This guy has, really, really devastating power, genuine one punch KO power. And sometimes that basically swaps out for skill that he may not have, because some of these other guys who you haven't seen yet in terms of boxing may be piecing you up more, but JDM might only need 1 or 2 of those shots and you'll be finished. Look at the Randy Brown fight, you know what I mean? And obviously I know and also another reason why I'm putting him in a pretty good position on this list, let's be honest, 6th is good, is because he's showing improvements, okay? And by that, I mean using knees and stuff that JDM in his first few fights in the UFC, he was very, very just, I'm a boxer, I'm a boxer, I'm a boxer. But now he's mixing it up a tad, a little bit, knees in the clinch. We like stuff like that. It's always fun. It just makes your opponent have to worry about more. Getting better at dealing with leg kicks, and he's fighting better opponents and looking just as good. So he hasn't got fraud checked like a lot of these guys who look amazing do. We saw Joe Pyfer getting fraud checked. He was like knocking everyone out, destroying everyone with his mad power, and then he gets absolutely fraud checked by Jack Hermanson. So this guy is not a fraud. We know that now, and I'm happy about that because I've been singing this guy's praises basically ever since he came in the UFC. In all of my early videos, I was saying like he's a promising prospect, like top 3 prospect, and yeah, he's looked great. He's active, which I like. Good head movement. I mean, this isn't really a chin ranking video at all, but he's got a good chin, so it basically means he can trade in the pocket. And his body shots, oh, they're good. This guy can fold, he folds people with body shots. There's only a few people in the UFC that can fold people with hooks to the body. He's one of them, and do it consistently, because obviously I know 1 or 2 people have one of them on their resume, on their fight records, but this guy's like basically caused finishes with body shots multiple times, which suggests that it isn't just a fluky punch. Like, he's literally that powerful, and he is. We know he is. So yeah, JDM going there. He's improving fight by fight, and he's just looking so good against high level opponents. So he belongs on the list now. I think it's fair. Moving on. Ilia Topuria. Now, Ilia belongs on the list at this point. He KO'd Volk. Volk was on the list last time. That was one of the other guys that I said watch these guys get flash KO'd. Volk got flash KO'd twice since that video. So yeah, rip Volk's career. But Ilia is better than Volk at this point in time. He'll finish him again in the second fight. And also, I know that, Volk had an alright first round, and you could probably give it to him 10-9. Maybe the judges did. I didn't actually really look at the scorecards because I was too busy grieving the loss of Volk. But yeah, this guy's good. Crisp boxing, kind of strange posture for a featherweight. Sorry, you know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. Only one worrying moment in his entire career where he got dropped by Jai Herbert, but then he literally smoked him in like the next round, so I'm not too worried by that. And it was a long time ago now. Annihilated Bryce Mitchell, destroyed Josh Emmett. Probably should have got a finish there. I don't really know how he messed that up, but to be fair, Josh Emmett is actually a good fighter. Like, I know people like kind of look down on him, but the guys he loses to are genuinely high level. They're all good, you know what I mean? They're all good people at fighting, and he just absolutely destroyed Bryce Mitchell. So yeah, he's kind of like aged like a good win for Topuria. I like his boxing. I like his kicks. Volk was really struggling with him, and his pressure's really good. To pin Volk up, a guy that's so good, and he would have been drilling that again and again and again, to not get pinned up against the fence like that without like the threat of head kicks, because he's maybe a bit shorter for that, to hit Volk with a head kick. Is really impressive. The guy's got great pressure. He's dangerous. He's a dangerous matchup for anyone. He's so quick, and yeah, you just gotta be so careful. His hooks are lightning fast. Decent jab, and yeah, I think he's great. He has 5. He can be dangerous for basically 5 rounds, and yeah, great. The future of featherweight, maybe. If Holloway doesn't beat him, he probably won't be dethroned for ages. I think Holloway's the only threat to him. I think Holloway probably does beat him, and Holloway should definitely try and beat him sooner than later, because he's just going to get better. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Topuria. Well, we'll just have to see on his next fight about how he deals with Topuria, because Volk is quite a good matchup for him. I think a short guy, chinny. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Leon Edwards. Now, people don't like Leon Edwards, and you know what? I like him, but his fight schedules frustrate me. I'm going to be honest. It kind of makes you forget that he's actually really good, and he is. I'm here to remind you, he is. Fight IQ's off the charts with this guy. I really think he's underrated when it comes to that. I think he's just underrated in general, and he's just really high level. And yes, I know he is a bit of a decisionator. That's why I'm not going to put him any higher than 4th, because this guy's really hard to hit on the feet. But yeah, he's just good. He plays safe. His leg kick game's good. He has good body kicks. He has good straights to the body, stuff like that. He's got good defense. I always think his footwork's immense. I think that's actually a really underrated part of his game that no one really picks up on. He can threaten the head kicks. He's got good IQ. He's got good feints. His feints are really high level, some of the best part of his game. Decent head movement. He's just really sound at striking. Just all around really good. He doesn't really have a weak area. The only weakness I think he has is I think his punches just don't have enough like bang in them. You know what I mean? I think that's his only weakness, is his lethality lacks a bit in terms of punches, but his kicking game is really good. He really immobilizes people with his kicks, and just great fighter. Underrated, but the only thing that annoys me about him is he like hardly fights. But I mean, he is fighting Bilal soon, so I guess we can't complain too much about that. But yeah, Leon Edwards, somewhat boring sometimes. You really want someone against Leon who's going to bring the fight to him, and then you'll get a fun fight. But if not, he's kind of happy just to sit there and like win like a easy decision over 5 rounds. So it's a bit frustrating, which is why I can't put him any higher. And yeah, just lacks lethality, which is why he's not going any higher on the list. We move on. Number 3, Max Holloway. So Max Holloway is maybe better than, he's probably the best boxer in the UFC, right? He's probably better than not Gilbert Burns. He's probably better than Jack Della Maddalena in terms of pure boxing, but he just lacks a little bit of power. So he really needs that perfect shot to, put you out if you've got a good chin. However, in his last fight, he was good at finding the perfect shot, and he flatlined Justin Gaethje, which was very impressive. So well done to him. And yet he's so quick for a featherweight. It's ridiculous. He's super fast. In exchanges, he basically wins like 90% of exchanges, which is really impressive. And it's just because of his speed. His head movement's ridiculous. His footwork's ever improving. And the reason why I'm putting him so high this year is not because of the knockout. Yeah, that was impressive. He showed that he has got lethality, accuracy, and timing. But what I thought he may struggle with against Gaethje is the leg kicks. And this guy has, ever since the Volk losses, because that was all basically due to leg kicks, we can admit, he's improved. And he's dealt with that issue of having issues with leg kicks. He can throw his own now. And when you're against Gaethje, leg kicks are a big weakness. That's what you're going to have to watch out for, because he's just going to try and chop your legs up because he's got good leg kicks. And wow, he dealt with them amazingly. So yeah, that was the only flaw in his stand-up game. And also his spin kick. Oh my, that is such a rarely deployed tool in MMA. And he used it like 5 times in that fight. And every time he did it, it had Justin hurt or worried. You know what I mean? It really was distracting him. You could tell he was worried about it coming. And just amazing way to spice up, a pretty boxing heavy approach with a random spin kick to try and hurt him to the body. And it was working. And it probably contributed to like Justin, gassing in the later rounds a little bit, looking slow and tired. And the pace he sets, this guy, he doesn't throw a few punches. He's on you from the very first second of the very first round. It's exhausting going against him. And he'll just piece you up again and again and again. And if he were to rematch Volk, I think he'd smoke him. I think he'd finish Volk, to be honest, within 3 rounds. But yeah, that is my prediction for that. That'll probably never happen though. And Max Holloway deserves a good place on the list. He's improved. His leg kicking problems are gone now. He's formulated it, and his footwork's even better, and he looks just as dangerous. So yeah, Max Holloway in 3rd. I think that's fair. Moving on, Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira is really good. He's the most dangerous guy in the upper weight classes, I'm pretty sure. Does Tom Aspinall knock him out? Maybe, yeah. Probably times him with a left because he's scared of the takedown as well. But, maybe he should be in 3rd and Holloway should be in 2nd. But I'm happy with him in the top 3 anyway. I think that's fair, just maybe not 1. This guy's knocked out Adesanya. I mean, his resume speaks for itself. He's knocked out so many former champions. He's knocked out like 4. I'm trying to remember them all now. I've probably missed a few, but he's knocked out like 4 of them. Strickland, Yuri, Adesanya. Okay, that's 3. Blachowicz, that's 4. Yeah, there you go. And, the left hook is there. Oh, and Hill, so that's 5. And then, so beats Hill. I can't really take him down too much because he's looked so good recently. But he does kind of lose some parts of fights on the feet. Like, the first round against Yuri was pretty close. You got to be honest. And I know he finished him in the second round, but, like, he was getting hit too. Like, the guy is hittable, which is why I can't put him in first. Because where I think he's a bit, like, kind of not his weakness, as far as I'm concerned, is sometimes he just looks like he's a bit slow, okay? Like, I think his reaction times are actually kind of slow. I'm not gonna lie. Like, sometimes I just feel like he's gonna get timed in one of his fights. And it hasn't happened yet, like, well, recently. Obviously, I know Adesanya caught him. But Yuri could time him. I'm actually kind of thinking Yuri's going to finish him. I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of picking Yuri because I just feel like it's going to catch up to him eventually, because sometimes his head just doesn't move enough. And I feel like you're going to get caught in an exchange. And when people jump in, he just kind of moves a little bit back and frames his hand. And I just feel like he's going to get hit by an overhand or something, or by like a shovel uppercut. And he doesn't have a great chin, so he probably isn't going to be able to take it. But yeah, that's just my one issue with Pereira. But other than that, great leg kicks, literally zero telegraph, good feints. Obviously, he's got the best left hook in combat sports history. His jab's decent. He has a good 1-2 as well. It's actually really underrated, but he can time people with that as well. His only weakness, as far as I'm concerned, is his head movement's a bit worrying, shall we say. And sometimes he looks like he doesn't react to things. But, I mean, what would I know? This guy's Alex Pereira. But I'm just saying, guys, it does worry me a little bit in his fights, and Yuri might time him. But yeah, Alex Pereira number 2. I don't think anyone's going to argue with that. Let's go. Number 1. Now, the best striker in the UFC, I think it's Sean O'Malley. Okay, I've been literally thinking this guy's going to be the future of the sport since, like, his fight on the Contender Series, which was ages ago now. And he just looks better and better and better every fight. Obviously, avenged his one loss in the UFC to Cheeto. Bit of a fluky loss, I'm going to be honest. So yeah, well done. And he showed levels in that, okay? If I had to describe that performance, I'd describe it with the word levels, because he timed him every single time. He got hit badly about once in the fight in the 5th round, just before the bell. And, he's kind of already won the fight by then, so he wasn't too worried. And yeah, he's just great. If that wasn't Cheeto, he would have finished any other fighter in there by timing that knee in his face. And he literally hurt Cheeto multiple times in that fight. And Cheeto has looked basically invincible in fights. People look and think, how are you taking that? And Sean O'Malley's out here nearly finishing the guy. So you got to respect that. Very lethal, very dangerous, underrated lethality, I think. I think people kind of forget how good he is at finding the finish, because he was fighting cans for quite a long time. Massive arsenal, which makes him super dangerous. This guy got spin kicks, body kicks. His boxing is S-tier, elite boxing, you know what I mean? His head movement is the best, or it's second best. S-tier head movement. His footwork is the best. He has the best footwork in the UFC without a doubt. Good at avoiding leg kicks, because people are like, that's his weakness for a while. That kind of whole kind of line of story of, Sean O'Malley can be beat by leg kicks, that's gone now, because that wasn't really true. And he has his own leg kicks, which are good, but he has foot problems, so, isn't really his game plan. And good body kicks, knees, everything, just super dynamic. He creates so many angles, which is what really underrated, which is why I think Yuri does well, considering he's actually kind of got like technically bad striking, but his angle creation is like S tier. And I think Sean O'Malley's is also S tier. I think he's probably better than Yuri, actually. Both dangerous, he's quick. And I mean, I'm trying to think of anything else I haven't said here. But yeah, this guy can string combos together extremely well, can find a finish. Once this guy's got you hurt, very rare you get off the hook, you know what I mean? He'll just hit you with a barrage of strikes. He's got 5-round cardio now, we all know that. He looked a bit tired in the Yan fight, but ever since he's looked absolutely great. And yeah, just amazing fighter, the best striker in the UFC, and maybe ever, I'm going to be honest. Like, people might say Anderson Silva and stuff like that, but I mean, Sean O'Malley is that guy. He hasn't really looked in trouble in his last few fights, and he beat Sterling really well, timed him. I did predict that was going to happen as well. You can go and look at that video, you'll find it somewhere. I literally predicted round 2 KO. But yeah, Sean O'Malley is the guy for striking. He's the best striker in the UFC as far as I'm concerned, and that is the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a like. Obviously, let me know in the comments down below what you think about this list, and tell me your own list, or just tell me who you think's the best striker, because I really want to know. I read everyone's comments. They're always fun to listen to and see what everyone has to say. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe. I'm back. We're going to have a summer of loads and loads of uploads. I'll promise that. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.